So the thing is, like every time you say no to one thing, it's like saying yes to something that really matters to you, even if
Hmm.
it's your time, right? Even if it's, whatever it is, if it's your personal time, you're saying yes to that and you've said no to something else. Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, of course. And it goes, in my opinion, towards like the self-care and, taking care of yourself because you
Right.
have to feel good about yourself so you can help others in the long run, right?
Exactly. Because if you
Yeah,
say yes to everything, you're going to deplete your energy and you're not going to be good for anybody, especially yourself,
true
right?
that. Yeah.
True that. Welcome to The Air is Free, the podcast that helps you stop gripping what you can't control and start embracing what you can. Join Frida Karsberg and me, Sue Willoughby, as we dive into real conversations about resilience, personal freedom, and finding your center in a chaotic world. Inspired by the Swedish expression Luften är fri, which means the air is free, this show is about letting go, trusting the process, and remembering that some things in life were meant to be free and limitless. So take a deep breath, let go of what's weighing you down, and let's get into it. Hey there, welcome to another episode of Frida,
Luften är fri.
aka The Air is Free. And we are here today to talk to you about no.
Big sigh.
Does that make you uncomfortable, Frida, to say the word no?
A little bit, yes. Yeah.
Yes, it does make you uncomfortable to say the word
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah.
Good. Well, good.
Yes.
Then we're
Yeah.
going to talk about that today.
Yeah, I love it. What about you? I guess it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable.
No, yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, no, it does. No, it does because the thing about the word no is that it brings up a lot of guilt sometimes. And I
Hmm.
have not said no, and I wish that I had said no, and then I get stuck. And I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We end up doing something that we might not want to do, right? Or overextending ourselves. I think that's pretty much my biggest thing about saying no. And I've gotten way, way, way better about it. Making myself too available and not saying no to things that's like, oh, sure, just put another helping on my plate. No problem. But yeah, I think for me, it was a big problem because I was a people pleaser. I think a lot of people are people pleasers, and
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, but that's not the case. So, what is your experience with the word no?
Yeah, I think we discussed this a couple of weeks back, but I have two kids, and it feels like I say no all day long, and I feel so sad when I say no because I want to say yes to so many things. But then I'm like, okay, it's gonna get out of control. I also sometimes feel like when I say no, I have to say it in a certain voice, or so people understand that I really do not want to do this. And then I get grumpy, and who wants to be grumpy? So lately, you know what I've been starting to do?
No,
I,
tell me.
yeah. So when I say no, I say no, thank you. And that makes it feel a little bit better for me. Because then it comes like a little thank you afterwards. Like, okay, it's so nice, but no, thank you.
So,
Why are
here's
you laughing? Isn't it great?
yes, no, thank you, or no, thank you.
No, but just no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Anyway,
that's nice. Yeah, like thank you for
so.
asking, but no, right? When you said that you say no a lot, I'm just want to get some clarification because you said I say no a lot, and then you
Mhm.
mentioned about the kids. Now, do you say no, we can't do that, or no, I don't want you to do that, or don't do that? So, is the no that you're talking about like for the kids or for yourself? So I'm
I
just trying
mean,
to
I guess.
clarify.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Of course, you should ask that question. I guess the no is mostly for the kids right now. Yeah. Short story. Short answer. Sorry.
Like no to them, like no, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, you can't do that, or no, we cannot do that, or no, why would we do that, or like, no, there's no time to do that. So it's always a no in the beginning of my sentences, which kind of sucks. I wish I would be more elaborative and maybe say like, hey, I love what you're saying, but today we cannot do that. But it's like you have to like fast communicate, you have to say no so they know that's the answer. But I think I would love to say no to things that matters in my life too, without feeling guilt you
Well,
know
that's yeah, that's what I was wondering is because it's I
yeah.
It sounds like you're really good at setting boundaries with the kids. Like no, that's not
Yeah.
appropriate, or no, we can't do that, or no, we don't have, whatever it is. You're using that language to set boundaries with your kids, which sounds like it comes pretty easy to you. No, 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 and no. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you. But when it comes to you and someone says, "Hey, Frida, would you like to be on this committee? It's only going to be 30 hours every week. We'd love to have you." Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's me in a nutshell. But I also must say, like, I do like to help out if I can, but I have a tendency to not being able to say no, even though I know I'm overwhelmed with the stuff I'm doing. It's interesting because I know deep down if I would say no, they will find another person who will do the work, maybe even better than I do, because maybe they have more time to dedicate or know how to, coordinate their lives in a better way. But it's interesting how I'm like, oh my God, if I don't say yes, they're gonna think I'm the worst person in the world and they're never gonna talk to me again.
There we go. I think we just
Mm.
hit the old nail right on the head. And it just comes back to what I was saying about feeling like you're letting someone down. When I have done that and I've said yes, yes, yes to everything, and then all of a sudden my week is full with shit that I don't even want to do. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, I think you mentioned being grumpy. Then I get resentful. Like, and why am I being resentful towards the person or the thing or the situation that I'm in? Because I put myself there, right?
I know, isn't
And
that
that's kind of my
ridiculous how
cycle
that
around.
work?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of my cycle around not saying no when I need to. So it's a dilemma that we find
Well,
ourselves in. How do we get out of it? How can we
yeah.
start to not say no? I mean, not say yes all the time and say no in a way that we feel good about. How do you do that?
I don't know. I start nervously scribble here on the side because I don't have an answer. But okay, let's think about it for a minute and see what we can come up with. So first, I guess,
WWD. What would the
yeah,
horse do?
yeah. What would the horse do? They would just say no, thank you, and walk away, right?
Or maybe not even have that thank you. Because
Yeah,
for them, no is a complete sentence.
yeah.
So,
But okay, so with the thank you, can I just say a little thing about horses and the thank you? What I like okay, so whenever I have the time, I like to watch the horses in the herd just, communicating and how they're doing things.
mhm,
And what I love so much is like they're setting so like healthy boundaries. And
mhm,
even though they're like, this is my food, move, the other horse don't, okay, I'll move. I know it's right. It's your food. Goodbye. See you later. And
mhm.
then they go eat from another, space. So it's so easy and it's like so swift. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's where my thank you come in, because I think like if I do that, it's kind of like I can just move on. It's for
Mhm.
me. It's only for me.
Yeah,
But
it
that
gives
is
you some
me being
closure
a
around
horse
that.
saying no, thank you.
But you're right about how horses communicate, because
Yeah.
it is, and they walk away and there's no hard feelings. Or if somebody's really pushing another horse's boundaries, one horse is pushing another horse's boundaries, they may give them a kick or a bite or whatever, and then the other horse will be like, "Message received. Thank you. I got it, and I will not do that again," rather than just be timid about it.
Yeah. Timid. That's a good word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. We are definitely timid about saying no. I mean, because we're afraid of, like I said, the horses don't then dwell on it. They just, okay, the interaction happens. It happens quickly, as you mentioned, and everybody moves on, and it's okay. It's kind of like when I asked you about, volunteering for something, or taking part on some committee or whatever. You
Hmm.
said, if I say no, they will probably find someone else who can do just as good a job as I could or better.
Yeah. Isn't that funny though? Like we're trying to stay pretty small in our lives and like I should, all this I should not and blah blah blah. But then the second when someone asks you, you think you're like the answer to the world. Like, people don't really care that much about you, are they? Like to be honest, it's like why do we paint this picture as like if I don't do it, everything is gonna fall apart and they're gonna hate me forever. Instead of just like they will figure it out.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's funny that you put that spin on it. I hadn't really thought about that. And you never know. They could be coming to you because you're the last person on their list and not the first person on their list.
Yeah, you never know, right? So that's, in my opinion, why it's so important to feel into your body and decide for yourself what is the best thing for me here, and try to not think about other people or, what's going to happen if I say no. Just like stay firm to how you feel about the question.
So let's break that down into some actionable steps. Someone comes to you and they ask you for something, whatever that is. It might be a small-ish request, like, hey, can you help me move? That's not a small
That's not a
request.
bit.
How about, hey, can you take me to the doctor's next Tuesday? Now, that is a little bit of a dilemma, right? Because it's like, okay, this person needs to go to a doctor's appointment. They don't have anybody else to take them. Well, that you don't know that, right? But at the same time, you would have to rearrange your schedule. So there's your scenario. What do you do? How do you say it? What do you do?
Intuitively, I was like, yes, I can do it. But okay, let's play with the no here. Well, I guess if I have stuff in my schedule that I can't or I don't want to move around, I would, kindly just explain, like, I would love to help you, but Tuesday is not a good day for me because I have to do this and that and that. So can you please ask someone else for help? Or I can help you find, well, okay, here we go. I'm like, can I help you find someone to help you? I guess that's, no. Yeah, okay, stop.
Right. Okay. So you're just, I guess it's step one is to assess the request or assess the whatever it is. Is it something that you feel good that if and this is kind of a pro and con thing. If I do this, how's it going to make me feel? It's like buyer's remorse, right? A little bit. Like, if I buy this car tomorrow morning when I wake up, how am I going to feel about it? Am I going to think I spent too much money? Am I going to feel like, whatever? So I think for me, assessing how I'm going to feel if I say yes, and assessing how I'm going to feel if I say no.
That's a good start.
That's a good start right there. Just like, because instinctually you're going to be like, yeah, I can do that. And then you're like, and then as soon as the words leave my mouth, it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah, assess, but also like take your time answering. You don't have to like give an answer like the second someone asks you, right? You can
Right.
always say like, I need to think about it
Yeah.
too,
Or
right?
even, if it's a situation where it's time is of the essence kind of thing, you just say, I got to check my schedule. I think I have something. I think I have a prior commitment. Right.
Yeah. But okay, so I hear you and I hear myself, but it sounds a little bit that we're making up excuses for saying no, right? Before we say no.
Are we? Is that true?
I don't know. Is
That's
it?
what I'm just saying, right? It's about a boundary. And the thing is, if you know, if you can't just say no, I mean, then you have to have some way to justify it, right? What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong. I'm just like, I'm curious to see if it's an excuse or if it's just an explanation,
Yeah,
and
good
sometimes maybe
point.
I guess like if there's, someone who you have to need help to the hospital, maybe you want to give an explanation, but there could be other situations where you can just say no, right, Sue?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it's something where you really do want to help the person and you do have the time, right? But I think a lot of times the no or having trouble with the no is something that might be a little bit bigger of a commitment and it might take a little bit more of your time, and you're just saying yes because you don't want them to be mad at you. Yet, if you did say no and you knew this thing was going to take you a bunch of time, then you are saying, okay, I'm putting up a healthy boundary. I don't need to do this thing. It's not going to make me feel good. And if I do it, I'm just going to resent either the situation or the person or the whatever. And it's just not going to be good. It's not going to be healthy for me.
Yeah. So many wise words.
Yeah, talk is cheap, right? Get right out there and say no. I dare you.
Right. Whew. Yeah. No. But yeah, I'm starting from today. More no's in my life.
Well, but maybe with the kids, it's different, right?
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Oh, you're so funny about that. So the thing is, like every time you say no to one thing, it's like saying yes to something that really matters to you, even if it's your time, right? Even if it's, whatever it is, if it's your personal time, you're saying yes to that and you've said no to something else. Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, of course. And it goes, in my opinion, towards like the self-care and, taking care of yourself, because you have to feel good about yourself so you can help others in the long run, right?
Exactly. Because if you say yes to everything, you're going to deplete your energy and you're not going to be good for anybody, especially yourself.
True that. Yeah.
True that.
Okay, but
So this week, what's
yeah,
the assignment for this week?
don't feel guilty about saying no.
Right. And what can somebody do?
Yeah, what can we do? We
One
can,
small thing.
yeah. I love the idea that you were saying, like you can assess before you answer, and
Mm-hmm.
also like, will I feel better if I do this, and why? So, ask yourself a few questions before you make your answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Something else?
can, when something's presented to you and you have to make a yes or no decision, you don't have to decide immediately. So take a couple deep breaths. How does it feel in your body if you say yes? Right? Is it going to make you feel icky? Is it going to make you feel nervous? Is it going to make you feel stressed out? And if it's not, and it feels like a good thing, then say yes. But I encourage you to think about it this week. And when you're presented with something that doesn't feel right to you, say no and see how it feels. And we want to hear about it. Maybe. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. No, we do. Leave your comments. If you've said no about something and you feel good about it and you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I stood up for myself and said no. And like Frida said, you can say no, thank you. It
Yeah.
may soften the blow. What are you going to say no to this week, Frida?
Well, I'm gonna say no.
It doesn't have to be
Well,
anything specific. So think
no,
about something, a
no.
scenario where you might say no.
Yeah, I already know. I've already said no today, actually. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, I was supposed to say yes out of guilt, but then I decided to say no because I actually don't have the time this weekend to do the question that came up. So I said no, and it felt good in my body. What about you, Sue? What are you going to say no to?
I don't know yet. It depends on what might come up, but I'm guessing it might be if it's something that is going to, I have some things that I want to focus on over the next week or so. And if it's something that infringes upon my time in a way that doesn't feel healthy or good, then I will say no.
Nice.
Yes. Better,
Yes.
easier said than done, right?
You can do it.
We all can do it. We all
Yeah.
can do it. So get out there and just say no. In the words
Simple as
of,
that.
who is it? Nancy Reagan? Just say no. That was about drugs, but that kind of dating myself here, Frida. You probably don't even remember that. Anyway, if this episode has been helpful to you, say yes and subscribe and share it with a friend. And if they don't want to hear it, they might say no, and that's okay, right? Anyway, thank you for joining us this week. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And Frida, I always appreciate you and your 2 cents. Sometimes you put in 4 or 5, and that's awesome. I love that too.
Thank you, Sue. Likewise. Ditto.
All right. Well, join us here next week when we're going to be talking about something completely different. All right. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye
Thank
now.
you. Bye.
That's it for today's episode of The Air is Free. I hope this conversation gave you something to think about, something to let go of, and maybe even a little more space to breathe. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, rate and review the podcast because it helps more people find us and join in the conversation. And if something resonated with you, share it on social media and be sure to tag us. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can follow us on Instagram, hit us up on our websites. Just come, say hi, send us a message, or let us know what topics you'd love to hear more about. Until next time, take a deep breath, let go of what you can't control, and remember, Luften er fri.